Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we are going to be talking about, can you be sexual, sexy, promiscuous, and still be a feminine woman? So a lot of you guys, think that, you're on your feminine journey and you have to pull back on your sexuality and being sexy, or not being too out there where you are misconceived as being, a thought or whatever. Let me tell you, femininity is sexual. Okay, it is embracing your curves and whatever curves you have. It is embracing the feminine energy and the sexual sensuality of yourself. It's feeling good in your body regardless of whatever curves you have and don't have, or whatever. It's accepting your body fully within itself and dressing to please yourself and feel good and self-pleasure and everything. So sexuality, femininity doesn't even exist without sexuality in a way, if you really think about it. Like, there's a difference between being too homely and being feminine. Like, you don't want to be over sexualized, but then you also don't want to be too homely. So femininity is like right in that middle where you are very sexy and you want to, give off this illusion of alluring the men in their eyes, because men are very visual, ladies. Like, looks do matter, and part of your feminine journey is knowing how to work certain looks that go with you. That is so important. So there is a balance. Like, the Marilyn Monroe effect, obviously she was very, very, very sensual and sexy, and at the same time she didn't come off as a, thought or whatever. Maybe to some men she did. She was like, Marilyn Monroe was out there or whatever, like, but she really wasn't. She carried herself with a certain amount of class. So it's like that sexy balance, like, or a Rihanna in a way. She's very sexy and like hardcore at the same time, and then like this energy that she gives off, like it's feminine and it's masculine at the same time, but not too masculine, and it's very alluring to men, and she's very sensual, and that is part of femininity. Women, when you dress a certain way, like, don't cover up the parts that make you feel sexy. Being feminine is sexy. You feel sexy within yourself, and you wear clothes that embrace and enhances that sexiness. Your hair is done, your makeup is done in a certain way, because like I said, men are very visual. So let me just tell you what isn't feminine and what's anti-feminine and what's too much and what is too homely. So what's too much is basically you're out and about and you're just in lingerie. You're always taking photos of yourself in lingerie. I personally do not agree with that unless you are getting some type of sponsorship from Fenty Beauty and you're making money from that. And still, you can make that look very classy and not trashy. Like, your whole butt is out. Like, being feminine is about, ooh, peekaboo. Like, oh, you can only leave it up to the imagination. Men love when you leave things up to the imagination. If you're just putting it all out there and you're just putting your whole body out there and you're not leaving anything up to the imagination, men kind of already know what's out there. Like, they love imagination. Men, when I asked them, there was like a poll, right? And they were like, I like women in a one suit bathing suit. I think it's more sexy than a two-piece bathing suit because it gives me imagination to what she looks like underneath that bathing suit. Like, I'm not seeing too much, but I'm seeing enough. So a lot of men like to, even with lingerie, they don't like the two-piece lingerie. They more so like the lingerie that is, kind of covering, where it's not too much out there, because they want to imagine taking it off piece by piece and revealing little by little. So if you are going to take sexy pictures, just make sure you're not revealing too much. Like, if you're very top heavy and you're showing off a lot of cleavage, just make sure the bottom is balanced with, you're not showing too much leg and you kind of got that a little covered up, or it's your skirts is, or whatever, is a little longer. There's a balance there. If you're going to show off your legs, kind of balance it up top, because you don't want to just look like you're trying too hard, or you look like a slutty in a way, you know what I'm saying? Like where you're putting yourself out there where you look a little desperate. We never want to give off desperate vibes. That kills feminine energy. It's desperate vibes. Not only just taking pictures, but you also want to not put yourself out there on social media. I don't know how many times I scroll through my timeline on Facebook and I see girls talking about how much they want to have sex or what they like to do during sex, or they got that good or something like that. You don't need to put that out there. Like that is like killing your femininity when you talk about how good you are in bed or what you like to do in the bedroom. What do they say, ladies? Lady in the street, freak in the sheets. Keep it cute, keep it classy. Nobody needs to know about what you like to do in the bedroom, because all that does and invite men in who have no intentions of wanting to be with you. They only just literally see you as an object. They only see you as something to have sex with because you put that energy out there. Men are going to match your energy. So don't be surprised when you're taking all these booty shot pictures of your butt out and your boobs are out and your hand is the only thing that's covering it up, or you're under the sheets and it's just like they can see everything, or you're talking about sex so much on your page and then you wonder why these men at the end of the dates try to have sex with you. Not to say that if you don't do all those things, men are not going to try you, but more so they're not going to treat you with that respect. They're not going to know that you're not that type of woman they can come with, because come act like that, you know, because a lot of men, when they approach me, they know how to approach me. They're like, look, you look like you're not that type of woman. You look like, you know, I need to wine and dine you and I need to take you out somewhere nice. Every man that approaches me, they know what type of woman I am from the get-go. They're like, look, I know I need to have my stuff together. You look like, you know, I need to have my stuff together. Men have told me that. Men have told me like they wanted to pursue me, but they didn't have it together, or they didn't have certain things that in place where they can fully pursue me. So they didn't fully pursue me, and it's, you know, I'm off the market. So like I just hear like, you know, little stuff like that, or like, you know, I wish I would have did this or I would have did that, but you look like the type of woman that deserve to be treated like this. And that's the look and the illusion that I give off, because that's how I carry myself. So please carry yourself in a manner where you are respecting yourself and not putting yourself out there. Like nobody needs to know when you're horny. Nobody needs to know how long it's been since you haven't had sex. Like nobody needs to know anything about you. Leave some mysteriousness up to them. Like leave some mystery to yourself. Leave some mystery to yourself. I can't emphasize that enough. Leave mystery to yourself. If they don't know, like if I didn't have a kid, people probably wouldn't even know I have sex. Like do she even have sex? Is she celibate? Is she a virgin? Is she this? Like leave that up to the imagination. And what's being too homely? Too homely is still putting it, you could literally still be too homely. You could post like certain memes that's like, yeah, I'm waiting for marriage, and like I am, you know, nobody needs to know that you are waiting for marriage. That is something that should be personal to you, and when you are ready for that discussion with that person, that's something that you talk about. But what's off-putting to men is when you're on the first date and you literally put down their throat that I'm waiting till marriage. Like, can they even get to know you enough? Can they like you enough? Like when you say that to a man, they're automatically gonna be like, man, she's gonna be really difficult. She's gonna give me a really hard time. She's probably wanna get married like the next day. Honestly, that is sad, but true. Men will think that you will wanna get married like the next day. And also being too homely, it's just like not showing enough, wearing clothes that's not really appealing to the body. Like, you know, you want to make sure that, you know, you show off. If you have boobs, like show off those boobs and cleavage. Be proud of that girl, because one day them boobs are not going to be sitting up nice and perky, and you're going to be like, well, why did I hide that? Why did I hide that? I mean, you know, why did I not wear clothes that, you know, really, you know, emphasize that, you know, without doing too much? Or why didn't I wear clothes that were fitting to me where I feel like a woman? Like, I feel like the perfect example for me is how to be feminine is I think about a feline, I think about a cat, I think about how cats move. And Catwoman, like, she was just so feminine and sexy and sensual, but not too much. It's like, oh my god, I just want to love on her and take care of her and hold her like a cute little kitty, and they purr and they're just so sensual and soft. Like, I think about a cat like, that's why cat eyes to women, like, well, that's why we do our eyeliner like a cat eye. Like, I really feel like this is like we learn from like the feline cat or something like that, because they're very, very sensual. They're very just feminine, you know. And I think about a cat because I think about how they move and how they walk and how they enter a room with confidence, but not like overbearing, and they kind of stick to themselves. And cats are very mysterious. I'll get into the feline cat and Egyptian days one day in a video. I would love to do something like that, because I feel like that's where we base our femininity from. It's like way back in those days, and how we do our makeup, and what's alluring to men, and what attracts them, and what is beauty. And I feel like we learned a lot of our beauty tactics from the Egyptian days. So I'll do its own video on that, but just look into that. And just, you know, it's okay to wear makeup. Like, yeah, you'll meet some guys that are like, oh, you don't really need to wear makeup. Like, no. Men are very visual. Don't let them lie to you and say that. Like, they are very visual. They'll have you over here looking like Betty the Basic, and then be all on Instagram swiping on girls who have a face full of makeup because they like what they see. And you want to make sure that you put yourself together. Not saying that you always have to wear makeup around your man, because I definitely do not, and he prefers me not wearing makeup, but I put it on because it makes me feel good. It makes me walk into a room and vibrate. And you know, when I'm with him, other people give me compliments and be like, oh my gosh, you're so gorgeous, you're so pretty, you're so this, you're so that. And I'm like, thank you. And then he see that, and I'm just like, thanks. Not saying I wouldn't get these compliments if I didn't have any makeup on, but I just look more put together, and I feel really good in my skin, and I feel really good about myself. So just make sure that you are doing things that are, you know, embracing your curves and your feminine energy, and all about you just being a woman in general. I think that is just so important, guys. So the bottom line is, yes, you have to be sensual and sexy to kind of embrace your femininity side. It doesn't really exist without femininity. Yet there, even when you're so innocent looking and you're wearing like something with ruffles and not showing too much, but it's a little skirt or a little dress, a little ruffled dress, like even when you're looking like that, there's still some sexiness to it in a different type of way. But it's not overly siren type of sexual where it's too much and you're just doing too much or you look too much. Like, there's a balance to your femininity, and I think it's just so important. So like I say, I see a lot of ladies on their feminine journey, and sometimes they over sexualize themselves, where they're posting pictures like this and they're doing all like this, like they're just doing a little too much. Femininity is effortless. It is supposed to be natural, and whatever that femininity is to you may look different for somebody else. So just kind of tap into yourself, take pictures of yourself, and just kind of like study somebody that you kind of like, but then kind of turn it into whatever that is fitting to you if you want to take pictures. And also leave some mysteriousness to yourself as well, and not put your sexual business out there. That is the biggest turn off. I just can't stand when I see women out there talking about, oh my god, there's so many men in my inbox. Like, that is not, like, no, like, just, you don't need to do all of that, ma'am. Like, you don't need to put it all out there how long you haven't had sex, or you don't need to put it out there of like, you know, just don't do too much. Don't do too much. I personally do not like the pictures where women are wearing, you know, their butt is like literally all out. Like, what do you expect? Your inbox is gonna get hit up, but for all the wrong reasons, and they're not gonna look at you like, wow, queen. They're gonna look at you like, bust it wide open, she ready to bust it wide open. I don't know where that came from, y'all, excuse me, but they gonna be looking like, oh, she's ready to throw that thing, she's hot in the pants. And we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't need to treat it like queens. We want to treat it like respect. And that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to always be treated with respect, but you set boundaries for yourself, and you set the standards for yourself to stray away the dusties from coming up to you, because the dusties do not dare. Some of them do try to come up to me, and they come up to me even differently. They come up to me and be like, hey, like, you know, I see you, or they'll be really nervous to talk to me because they know like they got to come with their P's and Q's. So hope this video helped you guys, and if you have any other tips on how to balance your femininity without being overtly sexual and not being too homely at the same time, Thank you guys for watching this video, and stay tuned for more in the future. Bye.